Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in to Jajasmike. It's a pleasure to have you. If this is your first time joining me, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm a firm believer that your life will be changed. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I got my first $1 million giveaway. For the people who realize that it's the information that changes your situation, that if you get the proper perspective, your life begins to change. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I got an exercise for you. I want to engage you in this process. So I have to ask you to do me a favor. Wherever you are, if you have to pause the video, I need you all to get out a notebook, a blank sheet of paper, and I need you all to get a pen. Because the process of writing is a neuromotor activity. The act of writing forces you to think and concentrate. So today I want you to focus. I want you to focus. I want you to focus. Okay. So if you're looking at this background, this is a picture. And this picture came from the grace of God. The other day I'm at Starbucks in Houston, Texas, in Sugarland, and I'm having fellowship with one of my brothers, Luke. We're talking about God for about 2-3 hours. And so as he talks about all the blessings that God has given him thus far, that he didn't even ask for, just the blessings, I start to get a visual picture. I realize, wow, I see his focus. I see his positive focus. There was almost no negative focus, but hear me out. Hear me out. Here's why I call this the $1 million giveaway, all right? It allowed me to draw a picture for us all to see. This is how we can enable ourselves to manifest the blessings that are in our everyday life by first controlling our emotions. So our brain, what our brain is, this picture, right? We are the gardeners to our brain. We choose what thoughts to focus on. We choose, because we are the gardener, to pluck out the weeds, right? So if you look at the top, I have a gentleman who's thinking, and his eyes, your eyes are the funnel in which you choose what to focus your attention on, right? As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That's Proverbs 23 verse 7. So when you focus on things, whether it's words, a picture, right? Those produce thoughts. And if we go down to the bottom, there's a tree that's being watered. Because when you start the thought process, you're actually thinking. And so at the bottom, the seed of faith does not care if it's a positive or a negative. The seed of faith is your belief. So if you allow the seed of faith, which is your belief, to linger on the positive side, that is what you're thinking about. So in terms, that is what starts to grow. This is a small list with a minimal amount of leaves, but each and every leaf potent. So if you look on the right side, because of the positive thoughts, right? Because of these positive thoughts, we got Jesus, we got love, we got grace, we got mercy, we have laughter, abundance, favor, gifts, peace, power, strength, wealth, help, smile. Just little things to think about rather than the negatives in this world. Rather than focusing on the negatives. Because here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. When you decide to focus on those negatives, right? And the fact that the seed of faith believes what you believe. The seed of faith believes exactly what you believe. So you start to think about worry, fear, difficulties, hard times. The more you think about this process, those weeds start to get in. That root of your thoughts, the thinking process starts to water the seed of your faith, the seed of your beliefs. So in terms, you start to grow that tree. Before you know it, that tree is so big, you can no longer focus on the positives. So when I sit here, and if you look in the middle of the board, what tree are you watering? If you're watering worry, fear, difficulties, and hard times, that is what you are thinking about. That is now where your focus is currently at. But when you decide to take this process, right? It's physical process. They tell us to do this in our minds, but I realized that when you just write things down, because it's that neuromotor activity, which is the helps you think and concentrate, the act of drawing this process out, admitting what you're worried about, what is troubling you, and putting it down on a sheet of paper, and the act of actually drawing this tree, you are thinking and concentrating on this so hard that when you begin to finally erase those things, I realized for me personally, when I was in a situation where I couldn't control my emotions and I started this process, it helped me tremendously. So I'm telling you, it's going to help you tremendously. See what you're worried about, write it down, and immediately erase it. And instantaneously, you will see the improvements in your emotions. So how do we stop the negatives from even happening? If you look at the bottom of the page, I have thoughts pluck out weeds. Positive thoughts pluck out negative weeds. So ladies and gentlemen, if it's prayer, if you're reading an audiobook, if you're running, exercising, having a conversation with a family member, hanging out with your loved ones, all these positive activities are needed. There's many more, but these positive activities are needed in order for you to focus on God's grace. Because you don't wait for a problem to happen and then start doing this. No. You pluck out the weeds when you think about all of the positives that are happening in your life. So when the negative things do try to sprout up from the root, you've already cut it off by keeping consistent with your positive process. Your focus of God's grace is in your thoughts, because that's your focus. So your thought process, your thinking will continue to water God's grace, that beautiful tree. Now you can use this diagram on anything. What is it that you're looking for? You broke your phone. You broke your cell phone and you're thinking about replacing it, or you're thinking about how mad you are that your new iPhone has a cracked screen. You see what I'm saying? What are you thinking about? That's the process. You're thinking about losing weight, or the fact that you just got to keep consistent in your workout routine. Are you ashamed of the weight? And you find a group of people to help you. See, think about this for a second. If you're thinking about the negatives, let's say you want to work out, okay? Or let's say you want to run a business. I don't know what it is. And your thought process is around a plethora of people who are thinking the same way. They're thinking negatively about their weight. Here's what's going to happen. You see how I have one bottle watering that tree? Well, the more people you have thinking about the same thing, the same negative emotion, that's more water to the tree. You're going to grow that tree a little faster. You're going to have more help growing that tree, ladies and gentlemen. So don't do that to yourself. Surround yourself. When they say surround yourself around positive individuals, surround yourself around positive people. Why? Why do they say that? Because if you look at this diagram, you'll have more individuals to help you water your tree, the tree to your thoughts. Your thinking. You're gonna just continue to think in positive places. Your tree is gonna be so grown, so fully nourished that you can't help but to succeed in any endeavor in which God has called you to go towards. So ladies and gentlemen, I urge you today, take this $1 million giveaway and give it away. Give it away. Because now that you have received this information by God's grace, give it away. Somebody else in your circle needs this. Somebody else just has to see what you're seeing. And if you do that, elaborate on this, grow this, create something even greater than what I've showed you here. This was given to me by the grace of God to give to somebody else who's going to, turn this into a Einstein calculation for their own life. But give it away to somebody else. Give away your $1 million giveaway. And I'm a firm believer that your life will be changed. The process of writing is a neuromotor activity. The act of writing forces you to think and concentrate.